In today's story, our heroes test out the new wild Yu-Gi-Oh! MMORPG released by Kaiba Corp. Unfortunately, though, everyone forgot to get on TeamSpeak before downloading the game, though, and now everyone's on different servers.
Funny.
Get ready to level up, all my fellow feature outlaws. This is Card Game vs. Humanity, and I'm that NAKAK Double G. Here with that recap that you know you can't live without. I think it's usually about card games or something. Now possibly it's Digimon. I'm not 100% sure. So if you enjoyed, don't forget that sub, that bell, that like. Hit up the Patreon if you want to support me. Leave a comment telling me if you'd be just as pissed as Taya was if the admins had done you dirty by dropping you off in the desert wasteland area, forgetting that all the enemies there are way too high level. Just like these level 40 bosses known as the Big Five, who claim none of them have a chance to escape, even though they could have just challenged like 5 novice duelists instead so they could actually get their bodies back and into the real world. Like, it probably would have been a lot easier to exact your revenge on Kaiba after that fact. Separate all the players onto different regions of the map by dropping them down these holes that magically appear, giving only Duke and Tristan some time to spend together while the rest remain alone. Just then, though, the acid that Duke slipped into everyone's orange juice while they're on board the blimp starts to kick in. You know that must be some killer shit if even Kaiba's making those kinds of noises. So he catches a break and starts off in a nice castle-like area. Taya does not and starts off in a desert wasteland because they mostly just wanted her to get hot and possibly take her clothes off. Being the lowest level character, Serenity naturally starts off in a boring forest with a lake and no enemies, while Duke and Tristan are inside a hallway that I'm fairly certain is from Mario 64. Being equally boring, Mokuba and Kaiba are sent off to another part of the forest, being watched by Noah, who watches everyone sitting atop his Zuckerberg chair. He's clearly got everyone right where they wants them, doing nothing but trying to farm EXP. Too bad as the boss of this game, they'll never be able to attain the same level of stats. So I wonder who will be the first to suffer. I wonder. Oh, look, it's Yugi. Yugi's the first one they choose to duel in this season. Who could have guessed that Yugi would be the first person to duel?
Are you familiar with the phrase, "It's time to duel"?
Bitch, do you know who you're talking to? I don't think he knows who he's talking to. I don't think he knows who he's talking to, bro. Yeah, you don't know who you're talking to. Don't you recognize me, Yugi? I'm Gansley. We've had maybe 3 minutes of interaction before you killed me off as a dragon, but I'm kind of hurt that you don't remember me. But I guess we'll ignore that because Yugi decides to go full sassy mode, saying that this feeble old man could never win a duel against him if his life depended on it. You all know how much I love sassy Yugi.
But I will have to change that haircut of yours.
This must stop.
Oh, he's done it now. You can threaten the world, you can harm his friends, you can take his god cards, but no one fucks with the hair. Yugi puts up his fist because he's literally ready to fight after that last statement, being told that now is the time to learn your new rules and choose your own deck master. Broken ass cards aren't valid in this world, so choose it from the scrolling list of cards that you see before you. You only get one chance to choose them though, so if you miss a staple, it's too bad, it's too late, sorry bro.
For the entire length of the duel.
Did he just pick Harpy's pet dragon? About 10 seconds later, Yugi's already done putting his deck together, only about 4 seconds longer than it took him to choose all the dice combinations when he went against Duke. Just about to choose the Dark Magician as his deck master, this little Karibo smells some delicious fish in the water that needs to be devoured, jumping out of the card like a malfunctioning Pokeball.
Hold on! I didn't choose him!
Yes, but just like every duelist in Master Duel that has ever misclicked and Ash Blossomed his own card by mistake, we must learn. We have to accept these consequences, it just happens. Naturally, the Big Five hate Kaiba so much they use this dual disc design even inside the virtual world. This Gansley takes the first turn, summoning a monster face down before ending it quickly. He says Yugi doesn't have the skills to wheel and deal with a business mogul like me, a business mogul that apparently spent most of his time playing a children's card game instead of earning money. Yami Yugi is still pissed off about that hair comment, telling him to stop wasting his time with corporate-like speeches. Duel Monsters isn't about business, it's about ban lists and broken FTKs and the money needed to afford them.
Slash attack!
I tell you, I couldn't be happier. 51 episodes I've been waiting and the bison noises are back and more obnoxious than ever. Yugi sets one card face down and attacks Gansley face down monster, revealing it to be some garbage looking parrot named Shinigami. A lovely fake card that not only forces your opponent to discard one card from their hand, but also special summons another one from your deck in face down defense position. Honestly, out of all the fake cards that we've seen so far, I don't hate that one. I could see it being real. Let's head back to Serenity, who's hanging out down by the lake with her friend Goose Howard.
If this place is some kind of virtual illusion, how can I feel anything?
Oh, don't worry about that, silly girl. Once the real metaverse comes out, you won't be able to feel a damn thing. Despite being happy for about 15 seconds, Serenity does a 180 and says, I hate this place and I want to leave right away. Well, honestly, all I can do is see her and wonder what the hell they were thinking by having her hair like that. It's just It's not just me, right? Speaking of hair, that doesn't make sense. We head back to Joey, who has entered the castle grounds looking for some duels to challenge, because of course the gym leader's inside the castle, right? Oh, unfortunately all that seems to be left is this weird metal statue that he promptly starts talking mad shit to. Maybe the writers were correct in choosing Joey to be the one to mess with occasionally, because I'm not really sure what his end goal is here. We head back to Duke and Tristan, who may or may not be in the same castle, but seem to be stuck in this hallway that never ends. Being an avid Super Mario 64 speedrunner, Duke says that this shit is just gonna endlessly repeat itself. We don't have enough stars and we need to break the game's physics somehow. But because plot points in this show last 60 seconds if we're lucky, we're already back to a Mokuba and a Seto Kaiba that's currently ignoring his brother like usual as he rambles. A rare moment where even Kaiba doesn't have an answer to who Noah is or where he came from. He just defaults to basic anime logic and forgets that this isn't an episode of Dragon Ball Z.
I'd say he wants what's mine. Just like everyone else, he wants to be as powerful as I am.
Back to the actual duel on a show about duel monsters. Kinsley takes his turn and summons Imperia, a monster that's at least real about 10 years later. A monster that lets him draw one card before flipping up that fake-ass bird again, forcing Yugi to discard one more card from his hand. And while I hate the fact that he's talking about boring business crap, I actually like that he's talking about how important resource management is in Yu-Gi-Oh! And how discarding cards from your opponent can be completely broken. What I don't like is how Yugi is just dumping his magic cards instead of a 5-star monster with 1800 attack that I'm sure he won't just top tech into polymerization for. Back to Tristan and Duke, who is still trying to explain that it doesn't matter how much faith you have, bitch. This hallway will never end unless at the very least you can start doing some reverse long jumps.
Look, if you can touch them, then they're real enough to break down.
I've always said that the mysteries of the universe are revealed when you break stuff. I can't find a single flaw in that logic. Because he's basically Escanor, Tristan picks up a two-handed axe with one arm and starts swinging wildly at the wall. Before we're instantly transitioned back to Teo, who's got the worst start of the bunch. Luckily for the viewing audience, we get this completely unnecessary angle of her thick thighs and her titties sticking straight out before being stalked by what I can only assume are pre-concept enemies from Hollow Knight. Turns out they are very friendly, and just like Mako, they say hi by throwing a very sharp axe in her direction. What lovely fellows. I love how it literally ends the scene with us thinking that she just got killed by a goblin. It's like, just ignore that. Here's the brothers Kaiba sitting in a forest where they find a magical door where there must be some treasures inside. Oh wait, never mind. It's actually you're adopted. Back to this duel that had about 2 turns in 18 minutes. Yugi is struggling because Kuribo is a deck master that can't even communicate its abilities to you, because that's apparently something we programmed into this game to be possible. Of course, Yugi has to be a little bitch and prove me wrong, drawing into polymerization, combining his 2 monsters to summon Chimera, the flying mythical beast. Activating the set down card, which apparently was quick attack because he knew he was just going to draw into polymerization the next turn. He attacks Imperia, but Gansley's Deckmaster effect triggered, limiting 2 monsters on the field anytime he's attacked for a magic cylinder-like effect, reflecting it back at the opponent, which honestly, that's not terrible. The episode ends with Yugi saying, "You haven't quite put me out of business yet, old man. You're gonna have to team up with Walmart for that." Well, that's it for this episode. I want to thank you all for watching, and of course, a shout out to all my patrons. If you're wondering if I have anything special planned for the 100th episode this week, just know I will do something. This has been the Man from Earth with all the girth, ladies and gentlemen. I better fucking see you here this Saturday. It's gonna be a fun time. Later. Duel Monsters isn't about business, it's about bad lists. Duel Monsters isn't about Duel Monsters. Oh, don't worry. Oh, yeah. So if you enjoyed, don't forget that sub, that bell, that. So if you enjoyed. Oh my God.